I think I was on the show was going down to Atlanta.
That's crazy.
Is that right? I think that's right.
That's
wild. Yeah. Just wild. I haven't seen Matt's face in forever, so I was happy to see him when I walked in.
How's his face looking?
His face is looking good. Matt, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm okay. I was also succumbed to not the flu, but me and all of my friends, we never even made contact with each other, but all of us had like the same stomach bug.
Ooh. Oh no. I will take the flu for a few days over one day of the stomach bug.
It was just like I spent like almost my whole Christmas week in the bathroom.
Wait, how long did you have this for?
I've still got it. Like,
okay.
Now,
what the hell, Matt?
It's not as bad as like
it's just drinking the Mexican water. It sounds like
exactly. But other than that, the Christmas was fun. I was talking to Scoots when I walked in here that this is obviously like the first holiday, I guess, like grand holiday week that I've been while doing this kind of job. So, and then I was on vacation the week before that, so I literally haven't. I think I was been on one show in the past 2 weeks, and for one whole week I didn't even have internet. So I feel more out of the loop than I've felt my entire life. I feel like an 8-year-old who like back in like 2006 without a phone. The only interaction you have with humans when you actually go outside. Like I had like 10 people call me and text me or like, did you see this? Did you see this? I'm like, dude, I have no clue what you're talking about. I feel so out of the loop. It just feels really weird.
I didn't go on a cruise out of country or anything like that or get sick, although I feel like when you're a parent, it just kind of comes and goes, and it's like, oh, that's just that's the way that goes. Although flu is a different animal, stomach bug, different animal, and especially for as long as it both seems like you all have been down. But that overall sentiment, man, it just almost feels like sports has been a bit on pause, and Kentucky hasn't played for 6 days, but the Bellarmine matinee, nobody really took it all that seriously. Kentucky defensively didn't take it all that seriously. And it just feels like the transfer portal is not open. It's open, but it's not open, Peak. You can enter it, but you can't really enter it. It's not totally – you can say you're going to enter it, but you technically have to be waiting outside the virtual door. I think that opens on Saturday, though, and that's when things are probably going to get hot and heavy, is on Saturday with the transfer portal. But, yeah, Matt, it's almost like I'm just a bit sports checked out. And that being said, you had one of the best Sunday night football games maybe in the history of Sunday night football last night. The NFL is hot and heavy. There are obviously last final week scenarios next week, although not as many as you normally get going into the final week of the year. But, yeah, things are heating up in certain capacities, but I feel like I've at least just put a pause on things. But that's starting to change. And you're getting some big-time college football games this week. You get UK starting SEC play with a huge game this week, and we'll start waking up a little bit. The holidays, we'll get through New Year's, and then come the back half of this week, it'll start feeling like the norm. But your sentiment is shared, producer Matt. But it's good to have you back. I almost want to take this first segment just to talk about your all's Christmas breaks and Matt's cruise. I heard that he was one of the star dancers on the cruise. That was an interesting story. I want to hear about Atlanta and your Christmas peak. It sounds like you were in mostly fever dreams with the flu potentially. But we have a nurse in the family. She was actually saying their hospital has seen fewer flu people than ever before, which made her think that February was going to be. And she was like, have you gotten your flu shot? And I said the same thing that you said. No, I don't get a flu shot.
Yeah.
And she said, well, that's good because you should wait to get it because I don't think that the strand that they gave it out for is going to end up being the dominant strand. However, I told that story to somebody else, and they were like, oh, no, I think the flu is really hot and heavy right now. And then you just said that the exact same thing, so I don't know who to believe now.
No, yeah, I mean, I'm obviously going by personal experience here. I'm not looking at any data, but knowing that
I know that you got. I'm not questioning whether or not you were sick or if you had the flu. I believe you.
I just hear that it's going around. You know what I mean? There's no data to back up my claim there. But I will say it was the first time that I didn't get to celebrate Christmas for Christmas Eve or Christmas. I haven't missed either of those parties in my family since I was born, I think, and had to miss them both. So that kind of sucked. Felt like COVID in a way. Like I think even during COVID, we still had like a small get together of some kind. and then everybody got COVID. So I don't know. Maybe that wasn't the best idea, but it did stink having to miss all of that. And then in Atlanta, my wife's or my father-in-law, I should say, had to go to the hospital, and we had to stick around in Atlanta for a couple more days, and he got out on Christmas Day, or I think maybe the day after Christmas. So yeah, everybody's sick and missing the fun activities of Christmas time, TJ. But we ended up getting together with the family on Saturday, so that was a good time. We just postponed Christmas for a little bit, but it was good.
That's a bummer. That's not fun.
No,
I hate that.
We watched some. My wife and I. She stayed back with me. She could have gone to the parties. She didn't want to leave me alone by myself on Christmas. So we watched some movies and had our own little Christmas. It was a good time. And the sports stuff, like there hasn't been, like, it's weird that these 10-day. How long of a break is Kentucky on right now? Is it going to be over 10 days? And Louisville was on a 10-day break, but somehow, TJ, we couldn't figure out how to get that basketball game to be played in December.
I was thinking that on Saturday. I was like, I'm glad they played on November 11th.
Yeah, thank God we got that one out of the way.
To do it right here and now. But, yeah, that's the break. You know it's coming. I don't love it, but nothing you can do about it. You're not going to play a ton to begin with, but just having the off Saturday made it even seem even worse than normal. But I'll be ready for that. I'm ready to get SEC play going. I feel a new life with UK basketball. It's been a weird 2 months. It was a weird November and December. Went into November feeling high as a kite, and then was humbled almost instantly, and felt like the season was pretty much over there in December, and it was nothing could happen. And then, like the Phoenix, I've risen from the ashes, and I'm back to thinking like this could be a fun. I don't think they're going to win a national championship, but if Jalen Lowe stays healthy, it's a fun group that I think can win the SEC. I don't think that's impossible. Will they? No, they won't. But definitely going to be shooting for a top 4 seed, and that's probably going to be my bar on whether or not I'm an angry fan or a happy fan. If you get a top 4 seed, all right, I'm ready to rock and roll. If you don't, then this objectively was a failure of a season.
Yeah, it did. Watching JQ play, I know you already did a show pass, but yeah,
he changed and then seeing him in person at the Bellarmine game, although obviously that was different.
What was that about?
What?
Why play him only 7 minutes?
I was wondering the same thing.
What's the point of that? Did you hear what Mark Pope said after the game?
No, I was kind of tapped out. Didn't have to do the post-game show. Knew I wasn't doing radio, and
it
all
was
that.
Bizarre. It didn't make any sense to me. He said that there's some matchup stuff with Bellarmine. There's matchup problems with Bellarmine? He's a top 10 pick, Mark. What are you talking about?
Too dominant, maybe?
Yeah, we don't just say this. We don't want to put a lot on film of him right now. Or how about this, TJ? Don't play him. You did load management with Jalen. Could you have just done load management with JQ also? It's weird to me that he only played, 7 minutes?
7 minutes.
3 points, 1 rebound. So, not that it really matters. I don't think the NBA guys are just looking at a stat sheet to figure out who they're going to pick. But it is weird that he has a box score on there now of against Bellarmine where he scored 3 points and had 1 rebound. I just thought, either play him like you're going to play him 25 minutes, or don't play him at all. Why?
Or just play him like the appropriate amount that you should play against Bellarmine, like 17 minutes or something like that.
Whatever, yeah.
Yeah, I thought in person, I knew he didn't play a lot. I did think it was probably closer to like 10 or 11 minutes, so I'm not going to get too nitpicky just about 7. But it's a different – and listen, Bellarmine was in that game. And if you're a Bellarmine fan, which I am, you should be happy with that effort, with that performance. Offensively, if you can kind of go toe-to-toe with Kentucky, then that should be the bar for them. Now, Kentucky could have probably picked their number. The fact that they didn't score 100.
Well, Cam Williams doesn't make 8 out of 10 threes.
Maybe it's a little tight. How many of those were just open? Granted, maybe a few of them deep, but you're a D1 player that came to UK to hit open shots.
He's been missing open shots, though.
Certainly.
I think the St. John's game did give him some confidence.
Yes, I hear you. I think that maybe this has been really since the Gonzaga game for Cam Williams. He started to wake up, and good for UK. But you're right. The 8 3-pointers was huge, and it did help. But it'd be one thing if you were playing Jaden Quain's low minutes, which they did, and Andre Yelovich was playing 30 minutes. It was like, oh, all right, I can see why against Bellarmine you just wanted to give some other guys runs. Mohamed Diabate playing 32 minutes is not what we're looking for. Otega Owe playing 33 minutes against Bellarmine is not what we're looking for. And yes, it's a big, you had a break going into that Bellarmine game, and well, not that big of a break. You had a few days between the Bellarmine and the St. John's game, but you knew that there was a long break afterwards, so maybe it was just, we're going to play him because we know they're not going to play for a little bit. But the minute stuff, one of the biggest takeaways, you can't control injuries if you're Mark Pope. You can't really one of the biggest takeaways, I think, in the Mark Pope era, without being too grandiose, is just that I think his lineups are just always going to be head-scratching. Who he plays, how long he plays them, how you're in for 2 minutes and then he pulls 3 guys out. I don't think it's ever going to make sense. It hasn't made sense up to this point. Did he give more quotes on Andre Yelovich? Perhaps. Because I just have the theory that he's in the doghouse. But he comes back and he plays only 7 minutes. Not sure what the game plan is there. But yeah, not to get totally into the Bellarmine game analysis, which was now coming up on a week.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, even though that they defensively checked out in that game, I'm excited about SEC play for the Cats.
I think seeing Cam Williams make 8 of 10 threes is like, they need him to shoot around 41% like he did last year at Tulane. So I really didn't care that they gave up 85 points. To me, it was bigger that Cam got going and that he's now playing with a little bit of confidence, because he was shooting like 22% or something like that, 24% going into the St. John's game. And I think he was 2 of 5 or something like that from 3 in that game, but the 2 threes he hit were huge. And now he can play with a little bit of confidence. They're gonna have to hit some threes out in Tuscaloosa, TJ, if they're gonna pull off the upset.
I'll get a better gut feel closer to the game, but doesn't this kind of feel like one that Kentucky's gonna have a chance to steal?
Yeah, why do I feel like that?
Yeah, I feel like they're gonna be in the game too. I think it's just the break. I think it's just the big blue break.
Yeah.
It's just they finished well.
Wins.
Yeah, and I will say this again: November and the UNC and Gonzaga games in December were a joke and just shouldn't happen for Kentucky basketball. But they haven't lost since then. It's been almost universally good news since then, good moments since then. So I'm back in for SEC play, and they can actually, if they were to steal that game against Alabama, whether they did or they didn't, they can start off SEC play hot.
Yes. I mean, the schedule is favorable.
Yeah. It's Alabama, which that's a tough one, but then Missouri and Mississippi State at home. You have to win both those games. Missouri's bad. Mississippi State, Hubbard is tough, but you just have to win those games at home. Mm-hmm. At LSU, which will be one of those tricky ones where it's like, all right, how serious are you about the season, about your seeding? Can you lose that and be okay? Yeah, you can lose that and be all right. That's one you just need to win. I know it's on the road, but it's at LSU. Then at Tennessee, they're probably due to beat you in Knoxville. It's been a little bit. They're probably due to get you in that one.
Yeah, that was the last time, 2022.
But a bit of a house money game all the same. And who knows? If you steal it, then you got all the momentum in the world. You come back with Texas and Ole Miss at home. Those are the games you need to win. At Vandy, which is never truly at Vandy because you'll have a ton of Kentucky fans there. But again, you can win all those games, Pete. Not to get way ahead of ourselves, but we are. But then you're getting to the last game of January, which is at Arkansas, which I'm very high on the Hogs, and I don't think they'll win that one.
I don't either.
But that being said, everyone before then, to start SEC play, you can get. Now, at Vandy, at Tennessee, at Alabama, they're probably all losses. I'd predict them as losses, but not impossible. Games that you probably should be in, assuming that JQ's healthy and playing, and Jalen Lowe's healthy and playing. And who knows? Maybe at that point, Stephen Peak, there'll be another European player.
Oh, man. Maybe somebody from the NBA.
Go Vietnamese.
What's, I don't know. What's Ashton Hagens doing right now? What's Quade Green? What's he up to?
Bring back Big O. I liked him tweeting about it. Yeah, bring him back.
We need another big.
You get Oscar Sheboy and JQ down there.
I would love to get David Johnson back.
Sure.
Yeah, why not?
He'd be beneficial to U of L's basketball chances for sure.
We're all just going after Trenton Flowers now, so I mean
that has been an interesting.
Didn't that get like
point?
Debunked?
Did you see that Grok took a shot at Roush?
What?
Yeah.
Why Roush?
Yeah, he took a shot at Roush. Just said that he was a bald, ugly weirdo.
That's so great.
No.
Out of the blue?
Yeah.
Was it prompted?
No, unprompted.
Wow.
Yeah, no,
That is wild.
like when Greg got like super racist a couple months ago and they had to shut it down. They're
Yeah.
having to shut it down again
Because of
that's
Roush.
super mean to Roush. Just
Wow.
started bullying him.
That's crazy.
No, there was a response to the On3 stuff, and somebody was like, "Who is this referring to?" And Grok said, "Nick Roush." And granted, you did have several people that came back and they were like, "Grok, that is not right." And Grok did come back and they were like, "My apologies. Roush wrote a story about Joe Tipton. He corrected it." But there was this screen grab of just Grok being like, "Nick Roush is responsible for the On3 goof." I'll send you the screenshot. It was funny about it. But yeah, Grok had to be set straight about that. But yes, On3. You've really done it this time, Peak. You are responsible.
Yeah.
No, so what the Trenton Flowers thing, let's just I've got a rant about this.
I'm so ready
I'm going to
for it.
save it for the second segment.
Okay.
I won't tease it any longer
All right.
besides just one commercial break, but we're really coming up on it here in the next 2 or 3 minutes. But let's at least set the foundation, the groundwork about why Trenton Flowers, which may be a familiar name for folks around these parts, why he's back in the news, Stephen Peak. It's because he is back in the news.
Yeah. Is he even? I don't even know what's true anymore. Is he considering a return to college basketball? Is that true? And this kind of started with the.
Depends if you trust On3 or not.
Well, I tend to not only trust my employer, but I also typically trust Joe Tipton. But this all started right with Scott Drew and Baylor going out and getting how do you pronounce his last name? James Najee. Okay. And he was drafted early second round, correct?
I believe that's correct.
But did he ever play in the NBA?
I don't think he did.
He did not.
I don't think he actually
play
ever
minutes.
logged a real NBA minute.
Okay.
He guarded Wemby in the summer league.
Oh,
He guarded, yeah, and now he's
So
going to
that's
be
not
playing.
a real NBA minute, but I mean, you're playing against one of the NBA's best players.
And now he will be playing college basketball this season at Baylor.
He was drafted in 2023 for what it was worth.
Okay, and now we're in 2025.
But before 2023, he played overseas, and then he played for Barcelona. He was drafted from Barcelona, but never actually played in the NBA. But he's been a professional since 2019, technically.
What?
Yes.
Okay. So
And it's not one of those things where he was like a kid professional or anything like. I mean, well, he was a kid professional. Obviously, the European professional model is a little bit different. But he was drafted as like, from Barcelona. You know, like the cool Ricky Rubio highlights. He was like that. But
Okay.
he doesn't look like Ricky Rubio really at all.
not really. But so now he's going to be playing college basketball this season for Baylor. Do I have that correct? Again, I was under the weather. I was trying to keep up with it as it was happening.
That's the way I understand it all as well. Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Do you have a take on that?
Well, yes.
Or is that part of your Trenton Flowers thing?
Umbrellaed under the overall take, which I think is probably predictable.
There has to be a line. I know you're going to get to this, but there just has to be a line, or else.
Just always reminds me of the Office workplace harassment skit. Where is the line?
This could get off the rails.
Sorry,
pretty quick.
go ahead. Sorry, get up.
So, I maybe we'll address this more in the second segment, but either there is a line or there's not. I mean, I don't. So at this point, if there's not a line, then can you just go get anybody if they're in the NBA, but they're on an NBA roster, they played NBA minutes, but maybe they can go to college and does LeBron James want to participate in March Madness? He never got to play.
Probably the one thing missing to his
He's
basketball career.
He's won the NBA Finals. He's won a gold medal. He's won the illustrious NBA Cup.
Whoa, the cup.
He's won the cup. First one.
Yeah.
First one, actually.
But no tournament.
Yeah.
No
but no March Madness. I mean, maybe he's like, I need something else to add to my legacy. So LeBron James, be a Wildcat. I don't know how much.
Producer Matt, what do you think about all this?
I am terrified because I think the NCAA didn't realize that it was going to take off this fast and this egregiously. So I get that everybody that watches NCAA football, NCAA basketball wants this to be regulated. They want it to be fair for everyone. They want like a lot of rules in place. I think now, since they're waiting basically to the end of the season, I'm guessing, because there's been no announcement from the NCAA about anything being changed at this moment. So I'm guessing they're going to be like, okay, at the end of the season, we'll address it. We'll reconvene and we'll do all that. We'll come together as a committee and figure this stuff out. Well, I think it's getting so out of hand so fast that you almost can't backtrack anymore. So it's like all this stuff is allowed right now and it's being evaluated right now. If we finish this season, and then the NCAA comes out and says, okay, well, now you guys can't do that, there's going to be an uproar for all the college coaches that didn't jump in on it and then the others that did. So they got these players from the NBA, and they got these players from overseas, and they got these players from whatever, any walks of life, and bring them back to college basketball. The ones who didn't, because they thought this is going to be regulated, there's no point to me jump into it. Okay, well, if you're going to let those players who are now back in college basketball keep their eligibility, I think it's just going to I feel like you basically open Pandora's box. You can't close it now. So if the NCAA steps in at all, there's just going to be a huge uproar within college basketball.
Yeah, that'll certainly be part of my take about that exact thing. Once you've opened that Pandora's box, there's no getting back in the box. That I do agree with that. But that is crazy. If you missed that story from Baylor, that led to Flowers and other G League players being like, all right, well, what about me? And it does make you take a step back and wonder, where are we going? What is the state of college athletics? What does this look like in a year, 5 years? Is it recognizable in 10-plus years? I've got a bit of a rant about it. It's because this is what you all asked for. The chickens have come home to roost, so we'll talk about that. We'll get your text into the Game Day Men's Health text line, college football playoffs, NFL, and then SEC play starts this week for Kentucky. This is Kentucky Roll Call. Just a few shows left in 2025. We're back after this. Producer Matt?
It's Happy New Year, isn't it?
It is. Is that just what the theme is? Is that just like end of? Is that what you're going for?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll Pete gonna make sure I get whatever letters in front of the flu he had.
The H3 and 2.
The H3 and 2 coming to a Walker household near me. It sounds like on that cough. It was a little more peppy on the way in than it was on the way out, but I enjoyed it. I liked it. Are we gonna get any old sing line? What's it?
That's on the list.
Old
Yeah.
You've got it on the list.
It's on the list. Or at least whatever AI over you and Google told me is on the list.
Oh, well, don't spoil it. You worked hard to come up with your own New Year's Eve list.
I actually wrote all of these now.
There you go. All right, that's what we like here, and we like Game Day Men's Health. Start 2026 by bettering yourself at Game Day Men's Health. Go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com, and you'll get to feeling better. They're redefining men's wellness. No shortcuts, just results. Game Day Men's Health. Testosterone, peptides, weight loss, sexual performance therapy. Go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com, defining a new era in men's health. Get your text in. We'll read it at some point on the show today. A lot to catch up with here first. And I'm going to talk about the NCAA. I saw everybody freaking out about the Trenton Flower news. Understandably so. Did you all see John Calipari's press conference or his quote? Producer Matt, that may be worth pulling up just the clip if you can get it. John Calipari, with his ideas in terms of college athletics and like what's healthy for it, he hasn't been perfect throughout his career, but he is more right than most. And he was right about this one.
Do you know where the clip was on?
If you do, just John Calipari, NCAA, it'll probably pop up, but I can find it here in just a moment. I should have gotten it during the commercial break.
I got it, Matt. I'll send it to you.
Okay. I think Clay Travis in Fox College basketball.
It's 2 minutes long. Is that okay, TJ?
Yeah, maybe do like 1.25 or something like that. But yes, that's fine. I agree with most of it. I don't know if I saw the 2-minute version, so I don't know if I can definitively say that I agree with all of it, but I agree with this sentiment. College sports, it's just not college sports anymore. It's dead and gone, similar to what Matt said in the last segment. And you can't really put Pandora back in the box. Is Pandora the thing, or is it Pandora's box the thing, and the little genie comes out of Pandora's box?
You can't put the genie back in the bottle.
Can't put it back in.
Something like that.
Something along those lines. Regardless, it's dead and gone. And you killed it. Yeah, you. Well, maybe not you specifically, but maybe you. Certainly media members, Stephen Peak. Media members are probably the most responsible. Media members and the NCAA, they go hand in hand. Because when everybody wants to blame the NCAA, they are not blameless. But the portion of which should be blamed are the presidents of the universities. So really it's just like yourself. We should be blamed. We all are responsible for this. And again, that's why I almost default and I say the media is the most guilty. You doing anything for New Year's, Peak? Got any plans?
Yeah.
Being healthy, ideally?
Yeah, I'm going to try to not have a cough.
Not die.
Right. Yeah, that's goal number 1 every day.
Oh, like in
Don't die.
Big Daddy, that his girlfriend's new boyfriend, his 7-year plan.
Yes, right. 7-year plan.
What's your 7-year plan? Don't die? Now they end up working at Hooters together, though, so it all works out.
It does work out.
But any big plans?
Just going to families. You know, when I don't try not to stay up till midnight. It's not necessary. I've seen the ball drop. I'm good.
Yeah. Just not in the producer room at the Big X studio, though. Am I right? What if your Peak's got a big heart? What if you were like, TJ, I know you're a big loser. You don't have any plans. Come with me on New Year's to my family. We'll have a good time. And I was just like, that's super generous of you. I didn't think I was going to have an opportunity to do anything this New Year's Eve. I'll take you up on your get together. What can I bring? And you're like, well, we need an app, so just bring this. And as long as you bring that and come and have a good time, you'll be good to go. I come in with chips.
Mm-hmm.
By the end of the party, I've ruined it. I've gotten hammered. I've broken everything. It's my way or the highway for this party.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't be a very good guest, right?
Be hard to invite you back.
That's what we've done with college athletics. With the NCAA, it just reminds me sometimes. I don't want to get political, but sometimes you get these you get extremists that are just like, no, we got to do it this way. Let's do it that way. It's like, oh, I get that. If we made everything free, making everything free, why didn't we think of that? We should just make everything free, Peak, right? It's like,
It would make things more affordable.
It's like we actually, if people just take a step back and not think that they know everything for a split second and realize, oh, crap, we actually had a pretty damn good model for college athletics. Hey, no, it was not fair. The coaches could do this and and they could do that. And I was like, all right, that was our biggest problems. What's going on now? Now we've got a 26-year-old that's going to come back and redo a little bit of college basketball. Mm-hmm. The professional route wasn't going his way. So he's going to come back and play some college athletics. And I need to, like, take one step back from my rant and just say, like, I don't know how much I even care about all this. Once we've let the Pandora genie out of the bottle box, I don't know how much as long as Kentucky's ideally going to be at the top of its field, which it hasn't been.
Well, we're following all the rules.
Of course we are, which there are no rules.
Right.
I mean, just you're following like a made-up imaginary old system that doesn't exist anymore because you just got your button tied too tight up top. I'm not even saying necessarily, like, I do think there has to be uniformity. I that much I do care about. But, like, if you just want to be a minor league system, or, you know what, college basketball, you could dream big and just say, their eligibility doesn't exist. LeBron, come play for Duke, and
I'm fine with that.
We'll just be the top. We'll just be the top basketball league.
Yeah.
We'll take. Who cares? We'll do it. NBA, you all stunk. The thing that was missing was like real fan bases and good environments, and we'll just get it to the college arenas. And of course, that's never going to happen. But my point is, I don't even care necessarily where it goes. It just needs to go somewhere where everybody's on the same page. But I am mad that we ruined a good thing, and they're still trying to do it. They're still trying to, like, it's like it's already dead, but you're just beating it over the head just for sport now at this point. Let's make the NCAA 162 teams now at this. No, we liked this, and we liked how we had it. But just because you'd get these sob stories about these college athletes that were working so hard and having to eat ramen and life was tough for them, so we burned it all down for them?
Well, I have no problem with them getting paid. It's the transfer portal that's a bigger issue. I have no issue with the players getting a paycheck. If you give a mouse
a cookie, like it all kind of snowballs to one thing to another, though.
The NCAA could have fixed this. If they would have given those players a few $1,000s, you could have at least delayed where we're at now for another decade.
So
they gave them nothing.
Blame Eli Capilouto. They were the ones who did.
Whoever's involved with that.
It was all the presidents. They were the ones who did it. The university presidents refused to do it, and I agree that like the NCAA could have worked. Everybody could have kind of held hands during this new era and walked together. But at first, the NCAA was incredibly combative to it all, where they were doubling down, saying, like, no, and we're coming out harder and going to enforce it this way and that way and that way.
Because once you got NIL, you got agents, and then agents had access to lawyers, and lawyers are the ones that are causing the issue by basically.
Once you saw the NCAA wave the white flag on one lawsuit, it opened the door on all of it. And then when people said, all right, we don't like, they punished us this way and they didn't punish them that way, we're going to sue them. And then the NCAA said, all right, fine, whatever, no punishment for you either. Mm-hmm. You have just killed the system that you agreed to play in. Mm-hmm. If we're playing a sport, I'm going to expect to play by those rules. People got within the NCAA and said, I hate your rules, and we got to make it this way. Pete, your family had a great New Year's Eve party. I'm sorry that I ruined it. It didn't have to be my way. I was pretty selfish. We are selfish. I agree. The NCAA should have been ever evolving, and it got a little stagnant, and that was wrong. But you didn't have to upend it. And media members were just saying, oh, you got to do it this way. You got to do it that way. It's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. It was fair if you agreed to it. It was fair. And it's something that you could replay me a decade ago doing radio. God bless you if you did. And I would just say, listen, if you agreed to it, doesn't mean it's perfect. Doesn't mean the scholarship model is perfect. But if you're agreeing to it, you're agreeing to it. So not telling you to shut up and dribble, but shut up and work within the system. Shut up and be happy with a scholarship that you're given an opportunity.
There were so many other options before you got to where we're at now.
Many.
I mean, people's talked about the transfer portal or being able to transfer. If a coach can leave, how come a player can't? Well, how about when the coach leaves, then players can leave? I did think it was weird that you could agree to play for, let's say, Tubby Smith. Tubby Smith leaves, and here comes Billy G. And now, if you're Ramel Bradley, Joe Crawford, you have to play for Billy Gillespie. I always thought, okay, that is weird. If your coach leaves, that should open it up to where you can all transfer if you want to. But now it's chaos. And
there were silly parts of the old NCAA where I totally agree. It's like, you only get this amount of visits, and if you ever do another one, we're burning it all down. Oh, there were some definitely antiquated parts of it, definitely things that needed to be updated. And then I think Cal, even about 10 years ago, was being like, hey, we can do some name, image, and likeness stuff. However, when they did it this way, you knew it was just going to be ridiculous, where it was just going to be pay for play and not just somebody saying, hey, you're buying my jersey at the gift shop. Well, can I get a little kickback on that? But we should have, maybe we were naive to think that there could be a name, image, and likeness that would be.
They also could have just not sold the jerseys.
Well, they
could have had just number 0 or whatever on any of the jerseys. That's
what they did. Well, actually, that's what they did, and people were like, put a name on that. Like, this is dumb. Why can't I do that? And give the players it. And then we know where it's gone from there. It's
Larry O'Bannon.
It never had. We had a pretty good system. It wasn't perfect. It needed some updating. It needed some changing. We could have addressed the transfer portal. We could have addressed NIL in a. I do think the NIL thing was going to be a slippery slope to begin with, and I'm not going to pretend to have all the NIL answers. But it didn't have to be this way. It didn't have to go collective routes. It didn't have to go, well, some are going to do collectives, some won't do collectives. Some states are going to do it this way. Some states are going to do it that way. You could have universally, in the NCAA, said, this is the way we're going to do it. I don't care if your state does it this way or not. Tough taters. And then they would have been sued. And the old NCAA with the spine maybe actually would have fought it. The new NCAA was just eventually had to say, all right, well, if your state's doing it that way, then do it that way, I guess. If your state's doing it that way, then do it that way.
So what does the NCAA do now? Like, what do they do besides put on a tournament?
Office space. What would you say that you do here, Matt?
They just wait until enough of a collective of people complain about it that they have to step in.
I mean, they've never even been the one to investigate. Like, let's say the Katina Powell thing. That wasn't the NCAA. That was Katina Powell, right? I mean, and the whole thing with who was the recruit you guys had, Matt?
Brian Bone.
Yeah,
thank you.
Bone.
Yeah, that was the FBI. So what does the NCAA do? Even when they were doling out punishments, they weren't the ones finding out. They weren't the ones investigating and discovering these things. It was being done for them.
You could also make the argument the only reason Louisville even got punished is because they punished themselves.
Yeah, that too. Right.
You thought that because back then that was when the NCAA, like TJ said in quotation, had a spine. Louisville just put it on a silver platter for them. They were not in the crossfire of it at all. They were like, oh, okay. I mean, if you're going to do it for us, then yeah, sure, we'll just ban yourself. I don't care.
And that's another thing and Matt, I'm not saying that U of L, the NCAA handled it perfectly or not, or U of L should have done this. This is no indication of, I'm not making a comment on U of L and their NCAA issues. But during that time, so many U of L fans, leave the NCAA. It needs to be burned to the ground. Go do something different and blah, blah. Like that was just a popular fan venting statement, just an easy thing to say without really putting any sort of thought or thinking behind it. But then other fan bases were saying it, like UNC in Michigan and Kansas, and pretty much any fan base that got in trouble, you'd hear the fan base say, just disband the NCAA, burn it down. The NCAA is pretty much dead. I don't know what's coming next. We're in a bit of a limbo right now. Maybe it's the NCAA, but it's renovated and it's revamped and it looks different. Maybe it's an SEC Big Ten and they make a new name and they involve the ACC and the Big 12 in some capacity. I don't know. I don't know what it's called.
A Super League?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know what it's called or what it looks like. What happens when the first team cheats in that?
Who's even like, what does cheating look like?
Do you enforce it? Do you care? Why make rules, right?
If there's no punishment, there is no rule.
Or do you make rules? Because once again, what I'm going to refer back to, we had rules. We had structure. It was not perfect. It needed a little tweaking, and it needed a little updating. But it was certainly better than this, dude. It was better than 25-year-olds
better for the
being
fans.
like,
Yes.
it was better than, wait, I thought he played on LSU last year. Well, he did, but actually it was Ole Miss the year before. And then before that, he was out of conference. So you were right that he did play for LSU, but you got the 2 stops before then. Do you have the John Calipari clip, producer Matt?
I do.
Here it is. John Calipari.
I say to you, if a kid transfers,
Can you guys not hear it?
Oh, biscuit.
It came through one of my headphones. So I know you guys. Let me try to see if I can pull up another one.
Graduate.
Here, I can just pull it up on my computer and try to link it up when you're doing it, if you just give me a heads up of when you're going.
Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready whenever you are.
Okay, go ahead.
All right.
Graduate from that school? There's
Mute
no
my
way.
mic if you haven't
You
already.
can't graduate. So now you're going to be done playing without a college degree. You have no ties to the last school you went to where they feel that you're from Arkansas, you played here, we're here, you're going to have opportunity. That's done. You're offered $55,000 in your first job, and you go, what? $55,000? Do I have to show up? Are they going to, you got me an apartment, right, or a car? I mean, I'm worried about mental health. Mental health.
I don't think it's played over air either.
I've been poor. And you know what's worse than being poor?
That's not good.
Oh, it wasn't playing over the air?
So not over air
No.
or over our headset.
I think it was playing over the stream, but not over the actual recording. So like over air.
I do find it rich, and if you can find the quote, what Calipari was this.
All right,
this
well,
wasn't at a post game or anything.
Besides that, it went well.
This was the Club of Little Rock, Club 99, whatever that was.
I normally don't miss it, but I had to miss this.
You had to
year.
miss that one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I do find it just a little funny that Calipari's talking about. If you get to the end of that quote, he's talking about how guys only at the school for 1 year, so people don't even remember where he played at or who. Isn't that what Calipari made his entire career off of? Guys playing at a school for 1 year. Everything else he says makes sense.
But what he would say to that, his rebuttal would say
It was the only school that they played at.
They played at one school and then they got the job that they were at that school to get. So it wasn't like they failed.
Yeah, no, and I hear him on this, and as a Murray State grad, I'm watching my Racers play tonight. They got a really good team this year. I know that if they have success, all those underclassmen are going to be gone next year.
Yeah,
and
that's
bad for the sport. I mean, people we were watching highlights of Steph Curry at Davidson. Where does Steph Curry end up playing if he's playing basketball in this era? I mean, is he at Kentucky? Is he at Kansas?
Well, and
he's probably North Carolina.
For what it's worth, he could have transferred. He would have had to sit out. There was talks about that, but but they
didn't want to sit out a year.
Yeah,
I wish we just brung that back.
Yeah, you have to sit out a year, but you don't lose a year of eligibility. I'd be okay with that.
And then you go with what Steven said earlier, where if it's something like your coach is fired, your coach leaves, then you're kind of exempt from that. You can leave and play the next season. But if you transfer willingly, you should have to sit out 1 year, one season, just like it was before. That's not going to fix everything. But I don't know why we just abandoned that model for no reason. One, I feel like it would keep players in the same place because they're like, okay, I would like to go to a better program, but do I really want to sit out a whole season just to go play for another conference rival? Whereas now you can just jump between whatever team whenever you want. Now you can just join teams in the middle of the season. So college basketball is just gained the fantasy football waiver wire. So, I mean, you can just sign whoever you want whenever you want as long as they're not committed to anybody.
So this only gets fixed with collective bargaining, right? That's the only way you can say, hey, you have to sign a 2 or 3 year contract. You can either go to the NBA or go wherever, go to the NFL. But if you're going to stay and play in our league, you have to. You're beholden to that 2-3 year deal that you signed with whatever school.
But we can't do that because they're not employees.
Well, that's what I mean. It'd have to be
probably where that
revamped.
ends up.
You would have to have kids come in, and I'd say the blue blood top tier talent. The Kayla Wilsons, the Koa Peets, the Cameron Boozers, sign a contract that when they get into college basketball, they're saying, "Look, I'm not here to come to school. I'm not a student. I'm an athlete.
Yeah,
I'm not enrolled in the university. I am an employee. I will get a contract. Therefore, they are exempt from going to class. They're exempt from getting a scholarship." And then the other players that don't have NIL collectives, they can get scholarships. So it's almost like you're taking a reverse step where, the walk-ons are the only ones on scholarship anymore.
I actually can see where it ends up being that. Honestly, TJ, I could totally see where they're just employees of the university, and there's very little that's connecting them to the university as far as being a student. Now, maybe you can still say, well, we offer them a scholarship if they want to go to class, they can, but
the money thing is tougher to figure out and is out of my ballpark, and just I'm not smart enough to know and figure all that stuff out. All that sounds solid. Yeah, CBA would probably where this points towards within the conferences. Maybe I don't know. The transfer stuff, that is much easier. That is not hard. And well, somebody has to move closer to home because of their family. Well, here's what I would do, and it's what Cal says, and I think this just makes too much sense. You get one freebie transfer. Transfer. If you want to throw in an additional freebie transfer if you graduate, so like I've got my degree, woohoo! It took 3 years to do it or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get an additional one. That way you're encouraging graduations. Then I could be open to that. I think if I was in charge, if I were the king of college basketball, it'd be one freebie transfer, and then that's that. And then what you all are referencing, if your head coach, just your head coach, leaves or something happens, all right, you get an additional one. That's it. If your head coach, not an assistant, not somebody on the support staff that you know, a family member got sick, you want to move closer to home. Have you used your freebie transfer? You did? Oh, dude, that sucks. Go be closer to home, and actually it may be good for you to take this year off. You're not playing because you've already used your freebie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that.
All right, I don't like this. I don't want to do that. Then leave our system. Then go get a job. Get a job. You're out of here. Like, bye-bye.
I love it. Lawyers will obviously argue against it and likely win.
Yeah, they probably will, but my whole thing, and it's the thing that was so infuriating with the NCAA, is just like, then don't agree to it, you dum-dums. If you've got such a big deal with our model, if, I could make this much money, then go make it. Then go make it. Then get out of our system, get out of our hair, and go make it. If you want to go be able to go play for a million different jobs, then go back to AAU. But if you had a 27-year-old go back to the Mac Irving Fire and say, I'm ready to go play again, they'd laugh you out of the gym. So what are we doing with some of this stuff? But the thing is, you get one sob story, you get every media member in the world that writes a story about it, and then NCAA is just like, crap.
Why don't they just let them sign non-competes?
Interesting. Getting more into the weeds.
Because I think that's unconstitutional also, but I had to sign one.
Isn't that what a letter of intent is technically? I mean, your intent to go to that university?
I mean, I can't leave on 3 and go work for, well, I guess I can work for rivals because they.
But I bet if you got a lawyer, I bet they could get you out of it.
But how come that doesn't set the precedent then?
Maybe I should be more mad at lawyers than, but they do. I mean, there are things in these contracts that say, like, you're going to be here, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, and then they just get out of it.
Everybody in TV news that I've ever worked with has had to, they can't get out of their non-compete. We had somebody who left and went to Fox News, and she had to, they sued her and all kinds of stuff she had to deal with.
Get ugly.
Yeah, and it's like, well, then why is a non-compete? Why is that? How is no lawyer able to set a precedent with non-competes? Because they are unconstitutional. They do hold you to a job in a particular field. Yeah, you could leave it, but that's what you're saying, right?
Maybe we just
get out of our system.
Indentured servitude or something along those lines.
That's actually what I think college athletics was before all of this.
Hey, that's what they wanted to paint it as. It was so bad, but you didn't have to do it. Nobody made you go get the college experience for free. As these people are still paying off loans into their late 30s, and these people are like, well, what'd you do? Did you have to pay for college? No, I could throw a baseball. Although baseball is maybe not the best sport to pick because they have partial scholarships and they kind of get hosed a little bit more. Transfer portal, that sort of stuff, that's an easy fix. They just have to put their foot down. Just be an adult. Like, you just got to be an adult and say, this is our rules for our game. If you want to play by it, cool. If you don't, we want to be sympathetic. You may just have to take an extra year. Sorry, those are just going to be. The money thing, it is more complicated. I do think the conferences just need to say, hey, here's how, and it starts with the SEC and Big Ten.
How can sports leagues not set up their own rules?
They need to say, this is the way it's going to be. And if you don't follow it, we will punish you in-house within our conference, and we're going to actually follow that stuff. It gets a little bit more dicey. I know it's not as uniform in that because, one conference could have rules like this or like that. Just do what's right by your universities. That's fair. All right, hour 2, we'll read some texts, and we'll talk some football. Will Stein. Stein time, baby. This is Kentucky Roll Call. Big X Sports Radio, hour number 2 coming up next. Welcome back. Hour number 2, Kentucky Roll Call here on Big X Sports Radio, 96.1 FM, 1450 AM. Stephen Peak, producer Matt Childress, TJ Walker. Hope you're having a great Monday. Not sure if you're working or what your work week looks like, but we'll be in here to finish out your year on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We'll be doing shows, getting you ready. Cats versus Alabama on Saturday, which that game has been moved to a noon tip-off start time. I think it was originally scheduled at 1. It will tip off at noon. So a little bit earlier down there for Alabama. I wonder if their students will be back. I hope not. I hope it's a real quiet, sleepy crowd in Tuscaloosa. But the Cats win that one, and folks, I'm not afraid to admit it, you're just right back fully on track. Not, again, maybe not with like a national championship, but I will be back to being obnoxious. I can at least definitively say that. Peak will be in Tuscaloosa, Old Title Town.
Yeah. Went there last year and was really impressed by how much Alabama has embraced basketball. Their student section really gets after it. It's a loud, really loud venue.
We're good.
So I'm excited for it. Didn't go so well last year. Speaking of being sick, I was sick in the Tuscaloosa last year. I ate some Buc-ee's on the way down, and then at some point in the game, it just, I don't know. I'm not blaming Buc-ee's because a lot of people eat Buc-ee's and they're fine. But for some reason, it was the only thing I'd ate the whole day, and I was pretty miserable by the end of that game. We were doing the rapid reaction. I was looking at the trash can, like I might have to run over there and throw up in the middle of this. Like it was.
Did you get the fried or the baked beaver?
I got a breakfast sandwich.
Oh no!
And it tasted kind of weird.
Oh no!
So I only ate like half of it, and then I was like, my stomach was kind of queasy the rest of the day. So we're going to avoid that. We got the illnesses out of the way this time before we head down to Tuscaloosa.
You got to get back on the Buc-ee saddle and get redemption. Tosh.0 redemption.
Yeah. No, I still like Buc-ee's. It hasn't stopped me from going in. Again, okay. I'm just avoiding the breakfast sandwiches from here on out.
Gotcha. And that's easy for me to say. With a certain pizza place that I'm not crazy about that got me food poisoning, I haven't had it since. So it's kind of hard to get over it. If you get real food poisoning, it's really kind of hard.
Wait, what did you get food poisoning from?
This was a long time ago. This was back in college, but it was the worst night of my life. It was a place that makes their pizzas quickly, sometimes not efficiently.
Okay.
But they're known for their pizzas to be warm and on the go.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And I also got ice cream. I was in college. I also got ice cream at a connecting place next to that pizza establishment. And my roommates think it was maybe the ice cream consumption. I think it was the pizza consumption. But between the two, it certainly made for a rumbly, tumbly, and backdoor kind of evening.
Maybe you're just lactose intolerant.
Oh, I was pretty intolerant that night. I was very intolerant that night. Totally intolerant. It was not good. Let's read a couple texts into the text line, and we'll go from there. 502-414-1450 is the Game Day Men's Health text line. By the way, Marcus Freeman will return to Notre Dame. He ain't going nowhere. I was a little bummed to see that. I wanted the coaching carousel to continue, but not going to happen. So that's that. All right. A texter on the Game Day Men's Health text line says the sound didn't come over the stream. Thank you for that. Another texter says that if anything was free, would you all still work if you didn't get paid? If everything was free, would you all still work if you didn't get paid?
Of course I would.
Was this too a conversation we were having, or is that just a hypothetical?
You were talking about make everything free earlier. You said just make everything free. Remember you were saying that? Do you remember? Play that back. Play the whole first hour back.
Okay, I got it. All right, I'll turn all those mics off. We'll run the replay.
Yeah. Yeah, for the love of the game, Scooter Dingus.
I mean, we basically do radio for free for what it's worth. So, yeah. I would still work. What would you do with your time, Scoots, if you weren't working?
Right.
Like and I know Scoots is probably in his car, or whatever he's doing. Hey, if I weren't working, I'd be golfing. Scoots, there would be like a time you'd probably get sick of golfing.
I asked him when I walked in if he was more anxious to get to the game, like get to they're playing on Thursday, right? Indiana.
Yes. Yeah.
Or are you nervous?
The Rose Bowl.
And he said he's more anxious. I think that's how I'd be too. Like if it was Kentucky being number one in football, it almost, I know that they want to win a national title. Why wouldn't you? But wouldn't it feel a little bit like house money to a degree that, yeah, I mean, losing to Alabama would suck and not being knocked out in the playoffs in the second round and ending this amazing season. But if Kentucky had already won the SEC championship and was in the Rose Bowl, I would just be excited. And there wouldn't hardly be any nerves because I would just feel like this is anything beyond this is just, is added bonus at this point. I don't know if I could even believe it that they could win it, even if they were ranked number one, even if they were odds-on favorites to win it. It was like kind of how I felt about the Cubs in 2016. They were the best team in baseball that year, but I still felt like, well, they're just not going to win the World Series. Let's try to get there. And then once they got there, it was like, that was awesome. I got to see the Cubs go to the World Series. Everything else after this is just gravy.
Scooch, you mean to fix all of your anxiety right now? You're going to play a team that lost to Florida State, got dominated by Florida State, was taken to the brink by Auburn, a team that lost to Kentucky. I don't think that you could possibly be in a better situation now in the college football playoff than playing Alabama.
I think you're right. He didn't say he was nervous. I think he was like, yeah. He said that he thinks that they'll beat Alabama pretty easily.
I think they cover the spread.
Yeah.
I think that's last year for Indiana, everything that you said, Peak. That's last year.
Okay.
And it's really a head versus heart situation where their heart, Scoot's heart, which is 3 times too small, unless he has Fireball, then it's 3 times too large. I guess it's 2 times for the Grinch. It's a head versus heart sort of deal. In your heart, if you're an IU football fan, if you're legitimately a real IU football fan, yes, you're still tickled just to be having these conversations. We're playing Alabama in the Rose Bowl. We're a 7-point favorite. We're Big Ten champs. Like, what world am I living in?
Right.
What is going on? Pinch me. I am dreaming. To a certain degree, it is house money. The head aspect of it, though, is, all right, well, we're the 1 seed. We need to win this.
When will I ever get to see this again?
When will I be in it? If we're here, we need to go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
This is, you went to the bar, and it was late, and you were drinking, and, like, I swear, I think that really, really pretty girl, like, kissed me at the end of the night. Did anybody else see that or remember that? You go back the next night. She's there. She comes and she puts her arm around you. It's like, what is going on? Like, this is 2 nights in a row. Something is happening here. If you're IU, something is happening here.
Yeah.
And are you going to get a number? Are you going to seal a deal? Are you going to finish this? Are you going to actually win a championship? Or are you just going to be happy to be here and then next year be happy to be there and next year be happy to be there? Which, like, yes, obviously, I would. But at some point, let's go ahead and knock down the door. And if you're the number 1 seed, I'm not saying year 2 would be the year you got to do it, but if not now, then when?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think it's a house money sort of deal if you're like looking at it rationally. But I think it'd be hard to just not be like, I'm so tickled with everything that's gone on in the last 2 years of Hoosier football, and we'll be doing that in Stein time.
Yes. Can't wait. I can't wait till Kentucky's playing in Pasadena.
By the way, it'll be the Stein family will be partying in Miami. They just are big partiers. But they will have the Orange Bowl the next morning. That's why they'll be in Miami. Oregon takes on Texas Tech. In the Orange Bowl, UK's head coach doing his offensive coordinator duties in that one. Oregon a 2.5-point favorite despite being the 5 seed to Texas Tech's 4 seed. And if they win, they'll advance to the college football semifinals, and Will Stein time will be delayed a little bit longer. And if they lose, then Stein will just take over as the head coach with nothing else. But it's been relatively quiet with UK football. We could talk the staff additions. We'll maybe wait for that here in a little bit longer. But I wanted to read more text than just the one from Scoots. Another texter says, how many KSR Plus subscriptions do you think Roush's mandated promo tweets have generated? Over, under 3.5?
Under.
I'm going over.
What's Roush's, what does this tweet say?
He just tweets all the time about getting into KSR Plus.
The transfer portal is on the horizon. Lock in, BVN. Join. Transfer portal, 50% off. Ultimate fan bundle.
It gives real Adam Schefter telling you to buy Disney Plus vibes.
Wow. You don't have to tell me what to do. He's just promoting his business.
Yeah, we're just trying to stay employed, Matt.
Yeah, Matt. The transfer portal's right around the corner. The foundation's being laid. We have the latest who's trending towards the return, which position will be targeted.
I did like he did a we were going to make a video out of this, but he couldn't get to his house was so chaotic during the Christmas holidays, he couldn't find a place to record it. Did you know the color of Snoopy's doghouse in the Christmas episode?
What color is it?
I don't know. I thought it'd be more fun if people guessed. But it's all I thought it was red the whole time.
Uh-huh.
And no, in the Christmas one it's blue.
Oh.
He was doing a little what's the Berenstain Bears? What's it called? Mandela effect.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, he had some really good stories. I like when Roush goes off the sports stuff for a minute and does just some like fun stories, like the Santa Claus is Coming to Town, written by a Kentuckian. Did you read that story?
I don't know if I read that one.
That's a good one. I love when Nick Roush does those.
That was his
interesting
favorite
stories.
story to write.
That's what he said. You're right.
Texter says, good to see the roll call cat dudes back. I hope you all enjoyed your Christmas break and Matt took an enjoyable trip. Hoping the Cats having a break leads to great SEC play, he says.
Matt, what's one crazy thing that happened during your trip?
Yeah.
I never got to hear any stories.
The very first day at sea, so not the day that we got on the boat, the very next day, we went to the pool because there wasn't much to do early in the day.
Yeah.
And we got our first drinks of the trip. We're sitting there 5 minutes in. One of the cruise directors comes over and says, hey, man, we're doing a sexiest legs competition. I need you to enter in it. And I was like, excuse
Spotted
me?
talent.
I say, excuse me? He goes, I really like your tattoos. I need you to be in this. So it's just my girlfriend and I. I look over, and I'm like, there's probably, like I said, this is the first day at sea, so there's nothing to do yet. So there's probably 400, 500 people around this pool, like on the upper deck and lower deck and everywhere. I'm like,
shout out Upper Deck.
Shout out Upper Deck. I was like, she probably thinks this is funny, so I did it. It was me. I was the youngest person doing it by like 30 years.
Wow.
How did you win?
I did not win. I placed fourth.
Oh, fourth out of how many again?
Like 10 of us. The
Okay.
three people above me, their average age was like 60 to 70.
Oh, did they win ironically?
They won ironically. It was just older men doing like really cringy dances, and everybody loved it, right?
Yeah.
What did you do? There were technically it was voted on by the whole pool, but there were 3 judges, and they were 3 women of over the age of 60. So I had to. I said I had to. I did it voluntarily. I grinded on some older women. I jumped up on a rail, stretched my legs out a little bit, kind of threw it back a little bit for the whole pool. It was fun.
Where's the video?
It's on my phone.
Oh, man.
I'll show you guys during the break.
Okay.
But that was the very first day. That's the first time I've ever been on a cruise. For the next 5 hours, I was like a celebrity on the cruise. Like, I couldn't go to dinner or anything. People kept stopping me and be like, hey, you're the guy who did the... And I was like, yeah, that was me. I had like 7 guys come up to me. He was like, hey, man, I'm from North Dakota. My name's... I think he said his name was Kurt or Kirk. The man, we went and did the whole elevator talk. Like, what do you do? What do you do for a living? And then I told him that I do this. This man grilled me for like 1 hour at the pool, asking me all these sports questions. And then after like 45 minutes, he goes, okay, we talked about NFL, we talked about college basketball, we talked about this, and he's like, you know your stuff. I was like, I appreciate it, man. I didn't know I was going to get interviewed right now.
Is he listening right now?
He might be.
Did you tell him when to tune in?
I did. I told him what shows we're on. I told him I said, so if Kurt or Kirk, sorry if I got it wrong, it was very loud out there. From North Dakota, if you're listening right now, I love you, man. You're a great guy, and it was nice meeting you.
The vacation friends you make,
yeah,
it's a good time.
Mm-hmm.
There's a brief moment where you're like, we're gonna keep up.
And then
we're gonna be friends, and you never do.
No.
On the last day, they did like when you were a senior in high school, they put the video together of your senior year and all the random events that go on through the year. So they did that, and they showed every event they had in a video from it.
That's kind of cool.
That is kind of cool.
I am the main cover for the event for the Sexy Legs competition, so everybody on the boat when we were leaving got to watch me again.
All right, well, that's kind of bogus because you didn't win. Like, if you're going to make me the cover boy, go ahead and give me the hardware.
That's right. Yeah.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah, well, that you should be flattered, I guess. Probably some politics and the older women wanting to give it to an older guy.
Fine with me. It was a good time.
What was your favorite stop?
Probably Cozumel, Mexico.
I've been to Cozumel.
Either there or I really liked Belize on the first day. Belize was nice.
You couldn't believe it?
I couldn't. It was unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
That's what they kept saying when we got to the port. But Belize was literally just like a beach. There wasn't anything else to do. So, like, it was nice to go to the beach. But Cozumel, I went and did a tequila and chocolate tasting.
What?
Oh, it was amazing.
That sounds pretty fun.
It was fire.
What was better, the tequila or the chocolate?
I think you can guess.
Tequila, probably my least favorite alcohol.
Poor take.
I could throw up spontaneously when drinking tequila. It is possible. It just, I don't know. I can handle my liquor pretty well. Just something about tequila that doesn't do it for me.
I love tequila.
Cozumel was fun. Last time, well, not the last time, went on a cruise that went to Cozumel and Progreso. Actually, been to Cozumel a couple times. You didn't do Progreso, did you?
No, we did. It was Belize, then Roatan, Honduras, and then Cozumel, Mexico.
Okay, I hear those places are nice this time of year.
They are really nice.
Okay, well, good. During our holiday break away from one another, I had some sort of like allergic reaction at a Christmas party we went to that was super embarrassing. There was like 40 people at this party, and I just was sweating profusely. I mean, the long and short of it looked like I probably just was like on drugs or something like that. But I wasn't.
So do you typically, does this happen every once in a while?
No, it's never happened. It's never happened before. I was I felt okay besides the fact that I just felt hot and sweaty. But like I was fine after sitting down for a little while. But when we were leaving, it was like, should I go to the hospital? Like I wonder if that's all right. But no, it was funny but a little concerning. But it was just like a Christmas party. This was before Christmas. This was like 2 weeks ago now. And get there wearing my ugly Green Bay sweaters, the night of the Packers-Bears game, as a matter of fact. And wearing that sweater and, like, get to the party. Everything's fine. Talking with people. It was a party it was a dual party. It was our friends, and then the host also invited just, like, a whole nother group that we weren't as familiar with. I think it was their family, and it's no big deal. They were the host. They can invite whoever they want. But it just added to the embarrassment of the entire thing because there was a bunch of people there that I didn't know. It wasn't just like, oh, friends, whatever. And I'm like there talking with somebody, and they're like, are you okay? I was like, yeah, why? And they were like, you're sweating. And I was like, yeah, I feel kind of warm. And then, like, it was not just, like, sweating. It was like the sweat was meeting at the chin. Like, it was coming down the face and, like, meeting at the chin. It was that much sweat. So and it was, like, starting to, like, fall, like, off the chin now at this point.
And did you know what it was?
So I was like, let me take my sweater off. And felt better, but still was very, very sweaty. No, I have no idea. I have no clue.
Huh.
My eyes were dilated a little bit. But
were you drugged? Like, is it possible?
I mean, it's not impossible. But
yeah?
No, I don't think I was drugged. But I, like, was with it. You know, it's not like I had to be, like, helped to a couch or anything like that. We were having a great time, as a matter of fact, besides the fact that I was just super sweaty. But it definitely looked like I'd, like, come from a rave. Just drenched in sweat. And so that was awkward. And then we had the other company's work dinner. That was on Saturday. That was a good time. We got there right at 5, and the place opens right at 5. And I wasn't sure if, like, there was a party waiting outside the restaurant. So I was like, all right, maybe people can't get in. And I saw this other guy, and he was like, kind of looked like maybe he could be homeless potentially. No big deal. Downtown, not uncommon to see an unhoused person. And I was like, well, let's just wait. Maybe like they're not open yet. It wasn't a homeless person. It was just my dad. He had like all his shirt was totally untucked. His
follow up to this.
His jacket was like half off. His scarf was half off. He had this big. He doesn't carry a purse. He just carries like a box sometimes around. Like that's his like purse. So we're going to this nice restaurant for like a work dinner. He's just totally untucked, disheveled. He's got this box. Inside the box, he has like these little, like like the little Delta 8 THC drinks.
Yeah.
It's like you just can't take that into an establishment. And then he's got like 15 of these little holiday necklaces. And I'm like, Dad, people may not want to wear these at this. What if they don't want to wear them at this nice restaurant? Like, this is a nice steak house. Like, they may not want to wear. He's like, it'll be all right. So he gets them all out, and they're all tangled together. He's walking through the restaurant trying to untangle them and stuff like that. But that was good. It was a good holiday break. We had a lot of fun, and I guess it's not over. New Year's. I actually have a New Year's story. But what was your disheveled? What you wanted to follow up on that?
My dad he runs all the time. So he has like his running outfits. They're not matching. It's like a bright blue like toboggan is what I call it. Toboggan. What do you call it? Do you call it a hat?
Toboggan.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know some people say that's a sleigh. I don't mess with those people. But he's got on sweatpants and like everything.
Did you say people call it a sleigh?
Well, like a toboggan is
like a beanie, like a hat?
That's what I'm talking about. Some people.
We're talking about toboggans. What are you talking about, Matt?
I'm talking about beanies.
Beanie, yeah, okay.
Yeah, basically, that's what I'm talking about.
I've never heard someone call it a sleigh before.
No. No, toboggan is also referencing a sled.
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying
toboggan
now.
is a type of sled.
I thought you were saying that people are calling like hat versions of toboggans sleighs.
Oh, then that would just get super confusing.
Yeah.
Well, that's a nice sleigh that you're wearing while you're on your toboggan.
Well, he's got on and it's like I think the sweatshirt is kind of tattered up, and so he goes to Kroger wearing this because he doesn't care. And like literally a lady comes over and is telling him, so they have half off stuff over here, like just
man.
And he's like, oh, thank you. And he doesn't like realize like what's going on. Oh yeah, I appreciate that. And it's like and then he realizes it when he gets back to the car. He's like, she thought I was homeless. Like that's what that was.
It's tough. Yeah, and you want to be nice, but but it's also like, all right, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Maybe she was just being
Appreciate
really
the
nice
concern.
and just thought that he would enjoy some half off merchandise.
It could have been.
That's pretty good. 502-414-1450, the Game Day men's health text line. Yeah, are you all big New Year's Evers? Just mostly like staying at home? I'm not going to come actually ruin your party.
If I'm home by 10, that's a good New Year's Eve party at this point. I don't care to see.
Matt,
I don't need to be there for midnight.
What about you, producer?
I have never once had a good New Year's Eve.
Oh, man.
In my entire life. So
Wow.
we're not really big on like we celebrate it at home, like we watch the stuff and wait till midnight, whatever, we do that stuff. But it's more just like chill, like just sitting back having dinner and stuff, and then maybe having a couple drinks or whatever. But up until last year, it was like St. Patty's Day for my friend group and I. Like that was like our second big day of the year. We're going out. We're because all the bars open really early, and we get there at like 7 p.m. So the first people there to get a good spot and hang out, and we're there all night. And we did this for like 5 years straight. Every single year, somebody went home crying, throwing up, physically angry at somebody else, had to spend $100 on an Uber to get home because the person who was driving left early because they were upset. Every single year. It's like a holiday tradition for our friend group, so we basically just deterred from ever doing it again. It's over now. We've moved on.
You'll get some drama. I just think the night in itself is pretty overrated. Like, usually pretty cold night. It's going to be again this year. Waiting in lines, busy, crowded. People working usually aren't in the best moods. It's just, I can see where it would lead to drama. And we'd have some drama-filled New Year's Eves. I don't think anything too terribly bad. I had a buddy in Chicago one time. I had to just, like, carry him home and, like, get him on the L and the subway systems. And being unfamiliar with Chicago, that was an experience. But we survived, and we made it. So probably a good call there, producer Matt.
Worst one I ever did, my friends and I went to a bar on Baxter Avenue. And basically everything that I listed to you happened all in one night this time. One of my friends was crying. This is a grown man. He was crying. His girl had left him for somebody else or whatever.
Oh, no.
Another friend tried to fight the bouncer while we were already in the bar. He let him in. He went out to fight him.
No.
So we had to kick him kicked out. We left. It's only like 11. The ball hasn't even dropped yet. And I have to call an Uber because they're both so drunk they're throwing up on the sidewalk.
That's not good.
I'm sober
brutal.
because like I'm the only one there that hasn't got to do anything yet.
No.
Cost me $70 to get back to our friend's apartment we all parked at. Well, the Uber took us to the wrong place. Apparently, I put one of the numbers in wrong. So he just dropped us off at a gas station, had to buy another Uber because he wouldn't take us there because he had to go pick somebody else up or something. My friends threw up in the back of the Uber.
No,
no.
Can't do that.
And we finally get back, and I just one of them was crying in the hallway, one of them was crying in the room. I was like, I don't even know what's going on. I just left them.
Gee.
And I went home. The best one I ever had was
tell your friends to control their booze, producer Matt.
Best one I ever had was a couple years ago. I was in Boston for New Year's Eve because I went to watch the Patriots and the Dolphins play.
Oh, good time.
Oh, thanks for inviting Stephen Peake.
It was a good time. It was a good time. They won.
He probably would have enjoyed going to Boston to watch the Dolphins.
Mac Jones torched him. Loved it.
I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it as much.
Wow.
Unfortunately for Steven, the AFC East now locked up. No more chances, buddy. Sorry, big guy.
We just missed it. Hey, at least we get an easier schedule next year. What was that? Was that the best experience? You went to the football game?
Well, we went to the football game. That was on New Year's Day, the night. So we were in Boston the night before for New Year's Eve, and we went to a couple bars and we went down to like a bunch of like the historic places downtown and saw it, and then we sat and watched. That was the day Ohio State lost in the semifinal to, was it Michigan? They missed the field goal kick to win the game.
Yes.
I remember watching that game there. We were in like a lounge or whatever. It was a good time.
We're doing like the adult thing, the grown-up thing. Like obviously bars are out of the question because we're old. Midnight, probably like being out and about is out of the question. I'm not really sure what we're going to do. We're having some sitter issues, so that ultimately is just like the biggest kicker with all this stuff. But Peak, having to decide, is it more important to like the meal or the company? What do you think?
The company, for sure.
That's the right answer. But we have a group of friends that just always recommend the most mediocre, mundane, average restaurants. And
name one so I can see if I feel like I would fall in that category too.
Public radio. We can't be giving out free shout outs or trashing places all willy-billy. I'll tell you during the commercial break. But it's just the places that if you're looking for like a reservation of multiple people on a busy holiday that are always open on those days. Or always have availabilities, I should say.
Okay, yes. Okay.
Those type of places.
Yeah.
Where it's like, they're fine. They're not bad. It's not like you can get a good meal there and you can enjoy yourself. And if you're with the right company, you should have a good time. But as I've gotten older, Peak, where you're having to get babysitters and like it's big to-dos, if I'm doing a big to-do, I'd like to enjoy my meal. I wouldn't like to just go to a place that I could go any old time, all willy-billy, and just pick it up and take it home and eat it and enjoy it. Like, I'd like to enjoy the food a little bit more. So, and then you also don't want to be the jerk that's like, oh, that's where you all want to go. Well, no. Like, let's pick somewhere else. You just want to kind of go with the flow and be like, well, that's fine with us. Because it is. Like, I don't want that to, you're right. Because what is more important is company versus the food. But it's great if everything can click and you can have all of it at the same time. So we're going to do that. But where we're going, I was like, let's just roll the dice at a place that doesn't take reservations. Let's just walk in somewhere.
How many people?
We don't know the total number, which makes it a little trickier.
That's
on both sides.
Just send a mass invite out to everybody you know and just see how many people show up.
Yeah,
that's fine. That's fine as well.
Are you talking about like 10 or more people, or
no?
Oh, well then, yeah, you could probably.
There's even kicked around the idea of just like let's just do a house and do like a home cooked meal, and that got shot down quickly. I was like, if they're not gonna have kids there, that sounds awesome. Hanging out just in a house, no kids, TV on sports, like sounds. We could play. The girls could all go gossip in the kitchen. Or in the dining room, or whatever room of the house they choose, Producer Matt. It's 2025.
They're allowed in other areas of the house now.
Well, I guess we could let them inside. But we're still trying to finalize what we're going to do. But we're going to do something, and get to see friends is always a blessing. So that's always fun.
You got the Miami Ohio State game to watch?
Yeah, I just wish
7:30.
Why New Year's Eve? Like, I don't know. I feel like we kind of.
Why is there only one
holiday
game?
sports schedule has needs to be better.
Yeah, it does.
Needs to be better.
It does. I did like, I got a little NBA. I don't watch the NBA except for on Christmas Day.
You had a little bet, didn't you?
I did. I do a parlay every year with the NBA games, and I've hit it. I've hit every game twice.
Wow.
I missed the Knicks game. Minnie Mouse ruined my parlay. Did you watch any of that?
I saw that was just by happenstance on the TV. I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. If you're a kid watching, it was cute. Yeah.
It is kind of interesting. I think they only did it for that game because I couldn't find it.
That's the one where Donald Duck dropped 41, right?
Yeah. I think Minnie Mouse was Donovan Mitchell.
I saw Donald Duck get crossed.
He did?
Yeah, ankles broken.
Not really known for his defense.
Ankles broke.
Because I think that was Cameron Payne. And they were making fun of it because on the broadcast, like, Donald Duck was throwing up, like, the 3 celebrations running down the court, and they were all laughing about it. And that ended up being Cameron Payne's, like, career night. Nobody even knew it was him because it was Donald Duck.
When was this?
2-3 years ago?
Oh, okay. I was thinking, is Cameron Payne's over in Europe right now?
Yeah, I also didn't know that you were talking about a few years ago.
But, yeah, so so I hit the rest of them, and that was fun. I didn't watch any of the NFL on Netflix. I heard that went really terrible again. Is that correct? Anybody watch the NFL on Netflix?
My experience was okay, except that like at one point the picture wasn't perfect, but I was doing Christmas
People
stuff,
hated
so
that they were doing interviews, though.
it was on in the background. I wasn't sitting down really and never listening. We can talk a little bit more NFL. Liam Cohen just continues to be impressive.
Man, I think he should have just taken over when he was in Lexington.
Would have been solid. Wouldn't have been the worst thing in the world. Matt LaFleur, he just steams my biscuits in a big way. Tomlin's having a very Tomlin year. That's really the biggest drama that's left in the NFL, at least from the playoff standpoint, is what's going to happen in the AFC North. We'll talk about those things, maybe get to a couple more texts. One final segment, Kentucky Roll Call coming up next on the Big X. Stephen Peak, producer Matt Childers, TJ Walker. producer Matt Childress. Monday, last Monday of 2025. Get the text into the Game Day Men's Health text line 502-414-1450. Texter says, which day is Corey Price coming in for trivia this week? I believe he's going to be in Wednesday. I think is going to be the plan for Corey Price and trivia. Texter says, Steven can't miss a chance to try to downplay a good point made by Calipari. Well, I thought nobody could hear any of the points because the audio wasn't playing over the stream. But what point did you downplay from Calipari?
I was saying it was ironic that he was talking about how guys only play 1 year and then they're done with that school.
He was referencing different colleges.
Yes. I listened to the full quote. I agreed with him on everything. I just thought it was interesting that the guy who
it's one of those where like
the one and done.
It's a good point, but it's like, why is he saying it?
No, I once again, it's apples and oranges. It has nothing. It's an entire. He's not saying that people shouldn't be able to go to the pros after 1 year. He's saying that you shouldn't be able to go to 3 different colleges in 3 different years.
No, he was saying at the end of it, the part that I was referencing was the part at the end where he says, well, then they only went to school for 1 year. He's talking about like guys coming back and being a part, like it's their school. Like I played here for 4 years, and it's like, well, most of your guys.
I hate having to defend Calipari, but he would talk about saying at Kentucky, and I'm sure at Arkansas, lifetime scholarships. If you go, that was the Stephen Peake defense right there, in the Matt Childress defense. That if you leave early, you can always come back and get a scholarship at this school.
Yeah, you could.
That was his whole thing. So he had you covered there too.
He's always 3 or 4 steps ahead of me.
He had all this stuff figured out. You can say a lot of things about John Calipari, and maybe if he would have been doing a little bit more game planning and scouting than instead of this. But I always appreciated his vision for college athletics. He was right more than he was wrong.
You think about John Calipari's tournament losses, what ended their seasons. I mean, how many every single game from 2016 on, like Kentucky had a lead late in the second half in like all of them except for Oakland. I think it was the only other was the one that they never got the lead in the second half. But he was right there. I mean, so many times. And he, if you pull off any of those, he's likely still the coach at Kentucky. I know we can talk. I can go to the Calipari alternate histories all day.
I wish it would have worked out differently. I wish he got a couple more national championships, but didn't work out that way. He couldn't pull out those wins, unfortunately, for him. Nothing unfortunate about Salsaritas or their 3 locations in the Louisville area: Middletown, St. Matthews, and out in Bullitt County, right off I-65. Download that Salsaritas app. Keep them in mind for catering. Maybe your New Year's Eve plan is Salsaritas for catering. That's a good idea. Chips, wildly addictive. Hot, spicy salsa. Queso, guacamole. For Christmas Eve, we did their 3 Amigos. Christmas, they should rebrand it for call it the 3 Kings. But that is guacamole, salsa, and queso. It was a big hit. They give you so many chips. We still have leftover chips from Christmas Eve. You can do all that at the touch of your fingertips on the Salsaritas app. Keep them in mind. Also, my dad reminded me that the reason he was so disheveled outside the establishment is because he was putting on his Santa sweater that had a drink holder at the belly button. That was funny, too. I mean, it wasn't funny, but it was just like, Dad, what are you doing? What do you wasn't really that type of party, but a good time all the same. He's a funny character. I've got a college football take. Are there some other quick hitters we didn't get to? Did we tease something we never got around to?
I don't think so. No. USA Today put out their top 10 safest and unsafe cities.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, but I'd like to hear your football take.
I'm sure that's not controversial. We'll have to do some end of the year, like top
Sure.
UK topics, discussions, athletes, or something. We'll do that tomorrow or Wednesday to celebrate the end of the year, the beginning of 2026, and maybe we can do the safest and unsafest cities.
Yeah, your safest and unsafest cities.
I'll do my safest as an appraiser in the area. I'm just kidding. Not doing that. I'm obviously not doing that. But that being said, maybe every so often you can just sprinkle off a safe or unsafe city, and then producer Matt and I have to guess if it's on the safe or unsafe list.
Oh, I think you'll know.
No, you never know. You can never judge a book by its cover.
Casper, Wyoming, safe or unsafe?
I think that Casper, Wyoming is safe.
I'm going to say not safe.
Oh, it's safe.
Yeah.
The sixth safest city.
I thought you were trying to get us there.
Yeah. All right. Maybe in just a second we can get. Or no, you don't hit me with an unsafe city. I don't want to know. Whoa. I don't know.
How about you try to guess an unsafe city? You want to play that game?
That's a good one. No, I don't want to play it.
All right, we'll do this some other time.
I want you to.
Washington D.C. is the least safe city according to USA Today.
Unsafe city.
Yeah.
Unsafe city. No, that could have been. No, after the National Guard went in there, are we so sure anymore? That was a fun game. All right, just at some random points, just holler off another city. I don't know if it'll be safe or unsafe. All right, I've got a quick college football take. Do you all expect any of these quarterfinal games to be close? If more than one is a good game, I'll be surprised.
Texas Tech, Oregon.
Texas Tech, Oregon's the one that I think, I don't think either one of those teams is going to win the title, but I could see them having a fun game, coming down to the finish in the Orange Bowl on New Year's Day. Also, when's the last daytime Orange Bowl? That game's going to be at noon. I don't know if I remember the Orange Bowl just going off that early.
I don't like that Wednesday is just loaded with a bunch of bowl games, and then it ends with a college football playoff game, and it's only one, and then Thursday has 3 college football playoff games.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that it's symmetrical. I would like to have 2 and 2.
They want the college football games to be standalone. They don't want anything cutting into it. They don't want anything competing with it. They just want it. I mean, not realistically, they don't want anything competing with it. They just want it to be when these games are on. You don't feel like you need to have 2 TVs or you need to watch this or watch that. You're just going to be watching the college football playoff. So that's why they do it. Does that change your opinion at all? It's okay if it doesn't.
It does not.
Okay. So you get Miami, Ohio State on New Year's Eve at 7:30. Texas A&M should be totally embarrassed for the way they looked in the college football playoff.
It was so windy, TJ. What are you going to do?
All you needed to do was win that game, but to lose it and then to look that ugly.
Yeah.
Although their defense coordinator, that looked pretty good.
Defense looks great.
Defense wasn't the issue, but I'm not impressed with Miami. They won that game, so kudos to them. But I think Ohio State's just going to pound them.
Yeah.
I just think Ohio State's got something for them. So I don't expect that game to be close. Ohio State 9.5-point favorite. That's the Cotton Bowl in Arlington on New Year's Eve. And then, as I mentioned, the first game on New Year's Day is Oregon, Texas Tech. That's in the Orange Bowl. Oregon's a 2.5-point favorite. After that is the Rose Bowl, Alabama, Indiana. Indiana's a 7-point favorite. I think the Hoosiers are going to crush them.
You do? I think that game could be close.
I think they should be a 10.5-point favorite. The only thing that's keeping that close is because people see the name Alabama and they're like, they're 7-point favorites against IU? Oh, no, that's not right. By the way, interesting. It's going to be a rainy Rose Bowl, it's looking like. That never happens. You don't get a rainy Rose Bowl. It's going to be a little chilly for California weather. It's going to be a little rainy. And it's going to be a little ugly, which I think that benefits Indiana for what it's worth because they're going to be better in the trenches, which is just a weird thing to say.
That is weird.
And then the last game on New Year's evening is Ole Miss, Georgia, which could be a good game. Georgia's a 7-point favorite. That's the Sugar Bowl. That's gonna be a fun atmosphere. If there's one game I could go to on the list, it would be that one. They played a fun regular season game in Athens where the Bulldogs beat Ole Miss 43-35. So that one probably should be a good game. Certainly could be a good game, but I don't know. I think Georgia's Ole Miss doesn't have a coach. They're a different team than the team that went to Athens.
Right. That's what I was going to.
I think Georgia's going to pound them. I think IU's going to pound Alabama. Ohio State's going to pound Miami, and then Texas Tech, Oregon, probably going to be a good game. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we get more than just one.
I'm optimistic we're going to get 3 out of 4 games that'll be close. What is a close game to? I mean, one possession?
Yeah, just in the fourth quarter, it's like, I don't know who's going to win.
Yeah, I think that could happen for 3 of the 4 games, for sure. I agree with you on Miami, Ohio State. I think that Ohio State probably runs the score up on Miami a little bit. But, I think the other 3 games.
I don't know. I mean, Miami, at the end of the day, they don't really have the the offensive power, but we saw what happened. What Ryan Day has done against really good defenses, and Miami has still one of the best defenses in the country.
They do have an elite defense. That's probably going to be a low-scoring game.
Texas A&M had one of the best offenses in the country and literally could not score.
Yeah, I'm going to take Ohio State. It was windy. I'm going to take Ohio State.
I'm not saying Miami's going to win, but I wouldn't be surprised if that game is close.
How many field goals?
I hope you two are more correct than I am. I hope all the games are close. It is the college football quarterfinal. The first round didn't really do it for me, but no, you had the James Madisons and the Tulanes and the coaching stuff. You didn't really expect for the first round to do it for you. But the quarterfinal, I was pretty excited about. The names are solid. The games are solid. It's just I've got a weird feeling that the outcomes aren't going to be all that pleasing.
Well, that's how it was last year, right?
The semifinals should be like regardless of what happens, like even in the biggest upset. What would the biggest upset be? It would be Miami. So if Miami and Alabama were to advance, we still, it'd still be big names in Alabama would be the upset, right? That's funny to say that.
Yeah.
You're going to get big names no matter what in the semifinals, and then there will be Indiana.
I mean, last year there weren't any really great games in the first couple of rounds, and even
is that so?
Yeah, they were all blowouts in the first round.
And don't really remember it for what it's worth.
Texas and Arizona State went into 2 overtimes, but the other 3 games, that was the 4-5 game that last year too. So the other 3, Ohio State won by 20, Penn State won by 17, Notre Dame won by 13.
How'd you guys feel about the whole everybody talking about Group of 5 should not be in because Tulane got blown out?
You're never going to just let one game – like people thought they were going to get blown out. You're never going to let one game be the outlier for everything.
Well, because like James Madison came back and then took Oregon to the brink, and then people were also bringing up that Oklahoma's been in it 5 times, never won. So, like, to me it was just – I don't see how you're going to argue just because a team isn't in a Power 4 they can't be in, but then you can put whoever you want in all the time. They have like Oklahoma hasn't won a single game, but you're going to bash Tulane the entire Group of 5 because they couldn't keep up with one of the best teams in college football.
I'll push back a little bit about JMU taking Oregon to the brink. That game was never close. They just made it at least slightly more.
You want those teams in it,
was.
But if this becomes the trend, then I think you almost have to get rid of one of them, right? I mean, either blowouts happen in the NCAA tournament all the time in basketball. Blowouts happen. It's fine, but as last Saturday, I was wanting to watch some good football games, and after Kentucky beats St. John's, and then we go out to eat to watch. I guess it was both of those games were on that day. James Madison and Tulane. It was like, well, these games are over. They're blowouts. I don't know. I'm conflicted on it because you can't just close the door on the Group of 5 teams. You can't just close the door on non-Power 4 teams getting in.
We know what happens when they get in, and it's a bit of a reward for the higher seeds. That's just you get a slightly easier opponent. We'll get an upset one of these days.
If you go to 16 teams, having the 1 and the 2 play a 15 and 16, I would totally be all right with
like
that.
In a perfect world, I would love just you get the best teams in. Just the best teams that have the best players and the best roster. It's somewhat subjective, I understand.
But if you just don't let them in, then you got 5 whole conferences that just have nothing to play for the whole year.
That's the thing. They're
just rec leagues now.
Yeah, but what are they playing for? What's the reward? Just
they have genuine NIL collectives now.
Well, what's the reward? What are they playing? You're saying if you don't let them in, they have nothing to play for. What are they playing for now?
To get in the college football playoff?
And then just get their brains beaten in?
Well, I mean, Tulane has made it in. JMU has made it in. Now they both just making in the playoff adds your NIL collective, adds your class, your school revenue. Those are programs that have genuinely committed to those football programs and growing them, making them better. I'm not saying that within 4 years of the college football playoff being 12 teams, we're going to see 4 Group of 5 teams make it in, but.
No. I don't even disagree with you. I'm just kind of giving you more to think about. If they weren't allowed in, they wouldn't just have nothing to play for. They'd have probably their own playoff, and they'd have their own, like, the other playoff. And you'd still, for as much as you're playing for a spot in the college football playoff just to get beaten, now you'd be playing for a tropy in the
NIT?
Yeah, it'd be the NIT, basically.
Yeah.
Like, they could win the NIT, which could help their programs and grow their NIL program.
But that's not the same thing at all because those teams have an opportunity to make March Madness, and then the NIT is the step below that. So those teams just would have no chance of making the playoffs, so they just play in some bogus tournament. That it's cool to win.
But the premise even is still the same, though. Of
they might as well just be FCS.
The teams that make March Madness, the teams that are the 16s and the 15 seeds. What is your reward? It's usually just getting your ass beat. I mean, it's just usually a beat down.
Not as of recently.
But no. Again, I'm gonna. Well, not as recently.
FAU and San Diego State. George Mason.
They weren't, again, 15 and 16 seeds.
Right,
16,
I know.
16 seeds have only won twice ever. But my point is the reward is the privilege to get your ass beat. That is the reward. That is what you're playing for. And producer Matt, I know that's what you're saying. And ultimately, I agree. I think that you need to just let them go up there, and we need to be okay with it. But the idea of if you didn't have that, they wouldn't have anything worth playing for, or you wouldn't have anything. There would be something else. They would make something for it, something that may even be more beneficial for them, potentially. But that being said, the reward is you're at the big kid table. You get your chance. You get to see if you're up to snuff. And they're never going to be, but at least you get the opportunity, and I like it that way.
But they deserve to be there.
Sure.
They worked hard. They got to the end of the season. They did what they had to do. They deserve to be there.
Yeah, they're not undeserving. It's just they're not. If we're actually talking about like the best 12, 16 teams, whatever number you want to go with, they're obviously not.
And what stinks is with the transfer portal, none of those schools will ever have a legit chance at
like
winning
building
it.
some. I mean, now we're building something, you know, because they're just going to get plumped, every year.
Yep.
Just people are going to take their rosters.
That's why they need to figure that out.
Yeah, similar to what you're saying about Murray State.
Yeah,
I think that they should be in, but I do think we're kidding ourselves if we're saying that they are the best teams. Are they the most deserving teams? I'm okay. I'm okay with that.
Yonkers, New York, safe or unsafe?
What do you think? I think Yonkers seems pretty safe to me. Where are we at on Yonkers?
It's the 5th safest city in America.
Yonkers. All
Play
right.
the music. Okay, no, I don't.
Jesus. What university's in Yonkers?
Good question.
There's something in Yonkers.
There's got to be something in Yonkers. Oh, they have buildings and everything. This is
wow.
Buildings.
I know.
Some honkers in Yonkers.
Yeah.
They have
2-414-1450.
They have the Untermeyer Gardens, the Hudson River Museum, and the Empire City Casino.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
That's how you have a safe city.
TJ, it's also millions of dollars for the conference to make the playoffs. Yeah, well, sure, yes. But again, different structure. We're talking about a whole different ballgame. I like them being in. I'm cool with them being in. They're just not the best teams. They're going to get crushed more times than not. And then we'll have an upset, and that'll be fun, and then they'll just get crushed in the next round. But then maybe one year you'll have a team that wins an upset, and then maybe they win one more, and then they'll get crushed. But that's fine. They've earned it. I'm cool with that. And that is what you play for. Just like when whoever wins the SoCon, the conference tournament, and you get those fun March moments. And it's like, all right, now you get to go play Zion Williamson and R.J. Barrett. Go have fun. But that's the reward. That's what they've earned. TJ, what's your favorite college football playoff pick? I think Indiana's going to just crush Alabama is my guess. All right, everybody have a good Monday. It's good to be back. We'll be here tomorrow at noon. Corey Price on Wednesday at noon. This is Kentucky Roll Call on Big X Sports Radio.